Why did Japan's greatest Yokozuna walk away from the Japan Sumo Association? With Hakuhō Shō, the man who rewrote every record, this is more than a retirement paper. It is a clash of tradition, rules, and a bold plan to take sumo worldwide. Tonight on SumoSpirit, we decode why he left, what really pushed him out, and whether this is a crisis for Japanese sumo or the first step toward a global future. Let's begin. Hakuhō Shō did not just win, he changed what winning means in sumo. He holds the all-time records for top division championships at 45, career wins at 1,187, and top division wins at 1,093, with multiple Guinness World Records confirming it. These milestones pushed a very traditional sport into global news and set a new bar for the next generation. In 2021, he retired from competition and became an oyakata, leading the Miyagino stable inside the Japan Sumo Association. That shift mattered inside and outside the ring. The most decorated Yokozuna was now mentoring the next generation and shaping the sport's future from the coaching side. With influence came scrutiny, and decisions around him were watched closely by media, sponsors, and fans. That scrutiny intensified when a scandal hit Miyagino, and the issue stopped being only about records. It became about leadership, oversight, and trust. After the January 2024 tournament, the JSA investigated a violence and bullying case involving top prospect Hakuhō from Miyagino. The wrestler resigned, but the consequences went further. On Thursday, March 28, 2024, the association decided to close Miyagino for the foreseeable future and transfer its wrestlers and coaches to Isegahama. The signboard came down on Wednesday, April 3. By Sunday, April 7, the move was complete, and group training at Isegahama began the next day. Sanctions also hit the stablemaster. In February 2024, the JSA demoted Hakuho from committee member to basic elder and issued a pay cut for failing to prevent or report the abuse under his watch. The punishment plus the indefinite closure created a long period of uncertainty, with no firm timetable for restoring the stable. That lack of clarity became personal. The fate of his wrestlers and staff remained in limbo for months. By mid-2025, there was still no date to reopen Miyagino, a key reason Hakuho later cited for his decision to leave the association. With the path inside the system blocked, Hakuho chose a different route, one that might change how the sport grows. The JSA accepted his resignation to take effect on Monday, June 9, 2025. That day, Hakuho faced the media. His message was simple. He said it was best to contribute to sumo from outside the association. He also revealed a global initiative under working labels like World Sumo Project or World Sumo Grand Slam, with international events and wider participation for youth and women. He said he had interest and support from major backers such as Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda. In practice, this means no oyakata role and no JSA post in the short term. In the medium term, he is building a platform to promote sumo worldwide, which could operate in parallel to the JSA or cooperate with it. This is not withdrawal from sumo. It is a change of strategy about how to grow the sport. That strategy tests two things at once: the JSA's governance and the sport's appetite for expansion. The institutional question. Hakuho's departure raises hard questions for the JSA. Was closing an entire stable the right remedy for an individual's misconduct? And was the timeline for reopening transparent and fair? The sequence is clear. Demotion and sanctions in February 2024, a closure decision in late March, full transfer to Isegahama in early April, then no concrete path back for more than a year. When a figure with this level of authority concludes that the process is not working, it becomes a challenge to the association's consistency and legitimacy. The global opportunity. If World Sumo Grand Slam style events attract international audiences and sponsors, sumo could gain new talent pipelines, more youth and women's programs, and a larger global calendar that complements Japan's tournaments. Success will depend on execution and on how the JSA responds. A cooperative path could lift everyone. A competitive path could split attention and resources. For now, both outcomes are possible. Institutional choices flow straight into the locker room. Stability for wrestlers and coaches is the next test. Losing Hakuho is not only symbolic, it changes the talent equation inside the JSA. Of the 10 most recently retired Yokozuna, only 4 remain within the association, while 6 who left account for 117 Emperor's Cups. That is a large share of elite experience now outside the system, which can hurt efforts to attract and keep young talent. The immediate human impact landed on wrestlers and coaches who were uprooted when Miyagino shut and folded into Isegahama. That transfer created a very large stable, with training resuming there in early April 2024. But it also disrupted routines and staff structures for dozens of people. Stable mergers are complex and can unsettle prospects who need steady development. Recruitment is already a pressure point. The JSA has tried to widen the pipeline by relaxing entry rules and reintroducing an athletics test in April 2024, while exploring ways to reach smaller or later developing athletes. Those moves acknowledge enrollment challenges and the need for broader scouting. If stables look politically vulnerable or unstable, that undercuts reforms and can chill interest among foreign hopefuls and Japanese amateurs. What fans and sponsors believe about stability drives what happens next, on ticket lines and in boardrooms. Two instincts collide. At home, fans value tradition, discipline, and the integrity of the Heian system. Abroad, audiences are responding to access, storytelling, and big stage showcases. In 2025, sumo is surging in visibility outside Japan, helped by rare overseas tournaments like the 5-day Royal Albert Hall event and reports of sellouts across the previous year. That momentum can amplify Hakuho's world sumo vision, but it also sharpens the debate for traditional fans who worry about losing control of a cultural asset. Sponsors and media will read those signals. Hakuho's press conference emphasized that he wants to contribute from the outside and that backers like Akio Toyoda are open to supporting wider competitions for youth and women. Institutional support can shift narratives quickly, especially if paired with clear event calendars and strong governance. With the stage set, here is what to track to see which path wins. Will the JSA move on governance and transparency? Look for clear timelines for any future stable closures and reopenings, published criteria for discipline, and visible oversight. The long silence around Miyagino's status was a key grievance. Any framework that removes ambiguity will help rebuild trust. How Isegahama manages the enlarged roster. Coaching bandwidth, medical support, and promotion paths for absorbed wrestlers are leading indicators. A well-run super stable can be a recruiting asset. A congested depth chart can become a retention risk. Whether Hakuho's global project lands on real dates and venues. Watch for official announcements, partners, and first-year locations. Early proof could include youth festivals, amateur grand slams, or exhibition cards tied to major sponsors. These would validate the outside-the-system strategy. Recruitment metrics through 2026. Did the loosened standards and the athletics test broaden the intake, and from where? If applications rise and diversify, the system stabilizes. If they stall, expect louder calls for reform and more weight on external tours. Media and sponsor sentiment. Business and travel outlets highlighted full houses and growing international demand across 2024 and 2025. If that enthusiasm holds, both the JSA and Hakuho's camp have room to work. If sponsors hesitate, pressure rises for a coordinated roadmap. All of this funnels into two questions. Can the World Tour idea lift off? And can the domestic system hold steady? This move could reshape the sport. Hakuhō says he wants to build a platform outside the JSA. The idea is to internationalize and professionalize new formats. Think World Sumo Grand Slam style events for amateurs, plus divisions for women and youth. In his Monday, June 9, 2025 press conference, he said it is best to contribute to sumo from the outside, and he flagged corporate interest from Akio Toyoda. Execution decides everything. If he secures blue-chip sponsors and aligns with international federations, the project can scale fast. Amateur and junior circuits already exist under the International Sumo Federation, which means there is a global base to build on. Good media packaging and clear rules would turn the plan into real events. If funding or governance lags, the idea stays on paper. Inside Japan, leadership depth matters. The JSA has already lost several famous ex-Yokozuna from its ranks in recent years. After Hakuho's exit, only 4 of the 10 most recently retired Grand Champions remain in the association, while the 6 who left account for 117 Emperor's Cups. That is a lot of experience now outside the system. It affects mentoring, recruiting, and sponsor confidence. Day to day, The merger that folded Miyagino into Isegahama created a super stable. Training resumed in early April 2024 with a larger roster. That brings coaching challenges, medical load, and traffic for promotion slots. If other oyakata follow Hakuhō out, you could see new independent or hybrid training models, especially for promising foreign athletes or late developers. Beyond Japan, the opportunity is huge. A world tour model, youth festivals, and women's divisions can widen the pipeline and bring new fans. Amateur events already draw teams from many countries, which means there is demand if you package it well. Global broadcasts and arena cards would push visibility far beyond the 6 official basho. The flip side is a culture clash. Modern formats and media demands may push against sacred rituals and long-standing rules. The next chapter will test whether sumo can keep its heart while opening its doors. Recent overseas showcases, like the Royal Albert Hall tournament, show how strong the appetite can be. In the end, this is not only the departure of a champion, it is a choice that echoes beyond the dohyo. Hakuho is not fading away, he is taking initiative. Will this be only an ending, or the first page of a new era? We will be watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe to SumoSpirit for more. See you in the next one.